There are moments in sport where a number hits you so hard you have to read it twice. May 30th, 2026 was one of those moments. A 23-year-old from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, a kid with no scholarship, no D1 training facility, and a recent work history that included shifts at a regional airport, stepped onto a track in Cleveland, Tennessee, and ran 9.89 seconds in the 100 meters. No buildup, no warning. He just went out there and became one of the fastest human beings who has ever lived. Let that number sit for a second. At the 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, Noah Lyles ran 9.89 seconds and walked away with a bronze medal. That is the exact same time Sam Blaskowski just ran at a track meet in Tennessee. Place him in that World Championship final and he finishes on the podium, against Oblique Seville, against Kishane Thompson, against every professional sprinter on the planet. And somehow that is not even the most shocking part of this story. Sam Blaskowski did not grow up as a track prodigy. He played flag football, basketball, indoor soccer, and swam competitively. He only started running track in high school after getting cut from the basketball team. And once he started, something clicked fast. By his senior year, he was running 10.83 in the 100 meters and 21.99 in the 200. He won 3 Wisconsin state titles: the 100, the 200, and the long jump. You would think D1 programs would have been lining up. Instead, the only coach who called was Nicholas Gordon, the long jump coach at the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse, a Division III school, the same school both of his parents attended, the same school 1 mile from where his grandparents live. Every D1 program in America kept scrolling. 3 state championships in his senior year, and the entire D1 system collectively decided he was not worth a phone call. Not a reduced offer, not a conversation. 0. The message from the sports establishment was clear. You are not one of us. What the sport did not account for was what he was going to build out of that rejection. At UW-La Crosse, Blaskowski racked up 11 individual NCAA D3 sprint titles, 4 in the 100 meters, 4 in the 200 meters, and 3 in the 60 meters, plus played a key role in 3 4x100 relay titles. Along the way, he set NCAA D3 records in both the 60 meters at 6.65 seconds and the 100 meters at 10.05 seconds. By any measure inside his division, he was untouchable. But here's the painful reality of Division III athletics. Winning D3 nationals means you ran somewhere around 10.2 to 10.4 on a good day. That is fast by any human standard. But in the context of world-class sprinting, it barely registers. The gap between a D3 national title and a world championship final is not a gap. It is a canyon. Even his appearance at the 2024 U.S. Olympic trials, where he held his own without making the team, was easy to dismiss. Nice story, people said. But real sprinting? That is a different world. The doubt was not unreasonable, it was just wrong. After graduating, Blaskowski made a decision that tells you everything about him. He wanted to find out once and for all if the D1 programs had made a mistake, but wanting something and affording it are 2 different problems. So he went to work at a small regional airport, clocked in, saved every dollar, and when he had enough, he moved to Montverde, Florida to train under Dennis Mitchell with the Star Athletics Group. Mitchell's group includes Kenny Bednarik, Sha'Carri Richardson, and Melissa Jefferson Wooden, world champions and Olympic medalists training under one of the most respected sprint coaches in America. Mitchell apparently saw something in Blaskowski the moment he arrived. This kid could run with the best, whether the establishment believed it was about to become irrelevant. Here is where the story gets uncomfortable. In track and field, you cannot mention Dennis Mitchell without the conversation going somewhere dark. Mitchell's doping history follows him around. In 1998, he was banned by the IAAF for 2 years after a test showed high levels of testosterone. His defense was that the elevated levels came from drinking 5 bottles of beer and having sex with his wife at least 4 times the night before his test, because it was her birthday. Mitchell later testified that Coach Trevor Graham had injected him with human growth hormone. Then, in 2017, undercover reporters caught Mitchell on tape appearing to offer testosterone and human growth hormone to what he believed were film industry representatives. An agent connected to the conversation was banned for 2 years. Blaskowski had already raced at 5 different competitions in 2026, including 3 at altitude, and had not yet improved on his 10.05 collegiate personal best or finished higher than 3rd in any race. The doubters were quietly feeling vindicated. Then the gun went off in Cleveland, Tennessee. Blaskowski lined up in lane 4 at Lee University's track, He and Cameron Crump, one lane over, separated from the field inside the opening phase. After 60 meters, Blaskowski held his form better than anyone around him and crossed the line with a clear gap. Crump finished second in 9.99. Brandon Hicklin took third in 10.05, 9.89 seconds. Wind reading of plus 1.5 meters per second. Comfortably legal. His Instagram post after the race was one sentence. Breaking 10 wasn't just the goal, it became an obsession. Years of sacrifice, hard work, discipline, and belief all came together on the track. No list of people he proved wrong, no speech, just a man who knew exactly what it cost. Some fans dubbed Blaskowski the fastest white man in history after the event, as he beat the 100-meter time of 9.92 seconds, set by France's Christophe Lemaitre in 2011. That record stood for 15 years. Lemaitre is considered one of the most gifted European sprinters ever produced. Blaskowski broke it in his first legal sub-10 run of his career. How rare is a 9.89 wind legal time? Only 299 times in history has anyone run faster. Blaskowski is now tied for the 54th fastest performer in history. He shares that mark with 7 other athletes, including Lyles himself. He got there from a D3 college in Wisconsin after clocking in at an airport. The framing around racial records makes some people uncomfortable, and that debate is fair. But the historical significance is what it is, and erasing it from the conversation does not make the achievement any less real. Los Angeles 2028 is 2 years away. Blaskowski will be 25. Prime years for a sprinter, competing on home soil in front of a crowd that loves an underdog more than almost anything else. If he runs anywhere near 9.89 at the U.S. Olympic trials, he is on that team. But here's the uncomfortable question the track world now has to sit with. The D1 programs that passed on him, the coaches who looked at his high school times and kept scrolling, how do they reckon with 9.89? Because it is one thing to miss on a recruit. Every program misses. It is another thing to miss on someone who just became the fastest of his kind in 15 years of professional sprinting. And the bigger question is this. If the system never found Sam Blaskowski, how many others are out there right now running 10.5 at D3 meets that nobody watches in states that track coverage never reaches? That answer might be the most important thing this entire story actually reveals. Drop it in the comments. Does Sam Blaskowski make the LA 2028 Olympic team? And do you think the 9.89 is as clean as it looks? Because this conversation is just getting started.